Hello YouTube, how you doing? This is Mike in Detroit. This ought to be a good video, especially for those of you who are interested in these chord voicings, especially the ones you hear on these lush, like Bill Evans kind of thing, that kind of stuff. So I entitled this, let me turn this down a little bit. I entitled this Little Triads, Big Sound. So you know how we roll at this channel. Our target are beginner, intermediate pianists. Now we're getting a little bit on the intermediate side on this one and the last one. Last time we talked about rootless left-hand voicings. So if you missed that one, that was a pretty good one. Okay, so this time we're gonna take another situation that you can find yourself in. Let's say you're playing some talk music, or you're backing up a singer. These are some more tools that you want to stick in your toolbox, voicing wise. Okay, so a lot of people will call this like upper structure triads or superimpositions, or so it's not that hard. If you know your major and minor chords, then we're in business. So let's just put some foundation stuff down, and if you don't have it, then I got a video that you can go check out. So I can play a C major chord, F major chord, a B flat major chord, and E flat major chord, and A flat major chord, and right around a circle of fourths. D, G, G flat, B, E, A, D, G, and now back to C again. Okay? Now, if that's giving you some trouble, then you want to back up. And the same with triads. So sometimes when we voice these chords, we leave some notes out. So, now what notes could we lose? Well, if I'm playing right now, I'm playing a C major 7th chord. The notes are C, E, G, and B, but more importantly, the numbers are 1, 3, 5, and 7. Well, the easiest note to lose is the 5th. Doesn't tell me if this 5th doesn't tell me if it's major or minor. It's just it's like there, you know. I don't know. In other words, if I took the 5th out, I still have a C major chord. The next easiest note to lose is the root. That's what the last video was about, rootless chords. Okay, so we're going to attack this triad thing logically, because I could just throw a lot of chords at you and you can write them down, but that's not how we roll here. We really do want to teach here. So let's take a major chord and run it all the way up. Here's the root. We're going to take C major. Here's the third. Here's the fifth. Here's the seventh. Here's the ninth. We don't like this note on major chords. We don't like that. It's not a no note, but it's called an avoid note. So we're going to take that here, and we're going to play the 13th. So you do this with me. Root 3, 5, 7, 9, sharp 11, 13. That is your chord. Already that sounded kind of lush, huh? Now I want you to look at this chord. I'm going to hold it down. How many triads do you see? How many triads do you see? I'll wait. So let's start at the top. Oh, that's a D triad. Look at this. There's a G triad. Look at this. There's a E minor triad. So let me put the whole chord back up again. And you do the same thing on your keyboard. And look inside that chord and see how many triads can you find. So there's several little combinations inside there. So let's say let's take this one. So that's a G triad over C. So once I identified that triad, so I can actually play a shell voicing here in my left hand, and I can put a G triad on top of that. And look at that little triad, big sound. I happen to like it in second inversion, but any inversion will work. That is a sweet, sweet, sweet voicing. Now I could have played this G, but it doesn't really do anything. Okay, so that rule then, what you want to write down is a 5 triad over a 1 bass. There's the 1 bass. Yeah, let's try it. Let's see what it sounds like here. Yeah, see, doesn't do anything. So if you want to play the whole C major chord, or you want to play a C triad, let's see if that works. Yep, works too. See, triad over triad. But what you want to know, it's a 5 over 1. I happen to like this voicing and this voicing. When I explored all the different inversions, this is the one I liked. Once I have a voicing. So, just for simplicity's sake, because I know this one's easier to remember, because you already know that one. So let's take that to F. What's the 5 of F? C is. So let's play an F chord with a C on top. Beautiful. What's the 5 of B flat? F is. So let's play that. Sounds very Bill Evans or Joe Sample. Little triad, big sound. What's the 5 of E flat? Well, B flat is. And this is a major chord, by the way. So here it is in C. And here it is in some context. Just gorgeous. Especially on things like ballads, they really. So let's look at this chord in its total complexity. So I call it a G chord 5 over 1. But we got the root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, we got a 9th, we got another 5th, and we got a 7th. So what is giving this chord the color is this 9th here. Because these two notes are just repeating. Nice voicing. 5 over 1. Okay, so let's go back to our 9 sharp 11. Okay, there's the C major chord with all of its extensions. What other chord? So we got the 5 over 1. What else do we see here? Well, we got a 2 over 1. See this chord here? So we got that. In this case, we have a D major over C. That gives us a C major 9, sharp 11, 13. Now we have all kind of colors going on. So let's shorten that up. Let's play a shell voicing. See, told you that 5 doesn't do much. But if you want to play the whole C chord, you certainly can. So basically, you're playing a D major in any inversion over 1 chord. So let's put that in some context. Let's do a 2-5-1. Little triad, big sound. So far, we can put a 5 major or a 2 major. By the way, why am I calling these by numbers? Because you can put this concept to any key you want. I happen to like second inversion triads. This just opens the chord up a little bit, but any inversion works. Okay, so now I have my chord again. Root 3, 5, 7, 9, sharp 11, 13. See any more chords? I do, yeah. Look at that. There is a 3 minor chord sitting in here. So let's play a show. And let's play a 3 minor chord. Let's get that in second inversion. Let's see, that'll be this. Now, that one is not going to do much because see how it's sitting in here in this chord anyway. So it's not going to change the sound that much. But just be aware of it. It's not adding any extensions, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's look at minor chords. There's a C minor, 9. This time we do want the 11. And the 13. Okay, that's your stock chord for minor. Okay, now what chords do you see? Well, I see all kinds of chords. Okay, so I see a D minor over C. That's the one, this 2 minor over 1 minor. You hear that. If you listen to jazz, you're going to hear that all the time. So let's simplify that. Let's just play a 2 minor. Let's just play it here. There's a 1 and there's a 2. I like it up here in Candyland too. second inversion. That's a nice little voicing. How am I coming up with this? Again, I could just throw voicings at you, but I wanted to explain. How am I coming up with this? So you can come up with your own voicings. So here's 2 C minors. Back and forth. 2 over 1, 1 over 1. 2. They're both minor. 2 minor over 1 minor. 1 minor. Okay, so let's go back to our chord again. Root. Here's our stock chord, 9, 11, 13. What other triads do you see? Oh, look at this. Looks like a B flat chord. So I can go flat 7 major. In other words, I can take the minor, go down the whole step, and play this. Little triad, big sound. Now, I didn't tell you to copy this voicing. I showed you how to get it. Now, look for a triad in here. Now, get a formula so you can get that triad in any key. So, here's my root chord, down a whole step. Play a B flat over C. Now, if you want more of that C chord, let's put it in second inversion. So if I was targeting C minor, maybe I'd play a 2 minor 7 flat 5. Little triad, big sound. Just lush, delicious. Now you can sit here and analyze this. You can say, oh, okay, well that's a root, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 11, 7, 9, blah, blah, blah. Just say it is down a whole step, a major triad. Any inversion will do. Now you want to find places, figure out ways to practice these voicings. Anytime you have a new voicing, you got to get it locked in, which means practice time. I'm just showing you how to find them. Take it up, take it down, take it around the circle, that kind of stuff. And then finally get it into some of the music that you play. Okay, you think, oh, minor's got some more. See any more triads in here? Well, we got a D minor, we got a B flat major. What's this? What's going on here? We can go to the 5th and play a minor triad. Let's do it this way. Just like the 5th in major, we can play a 5th in minor. And really, these 2 notes are going to be the same. This is very similar to major, but it's that 9th we're adding. A lot of times I will voice it just like this. I want that 9th emphasized, so I double up on it in my right hand. But the clue is that I'm playing a G minor triad over a C minor 7. 5 over 1 again. Okay, so that gives you some stuff to play around with on majors and minors. Now, when we get to dominant chords, I can't give you a stock chord to work on because dominant chords. So let's do it this way. We got root, 3, 5, flat 7. start there. And the 11 and the 13. So we can manipulate. We just don't want to mess with the third and the flat 7. Those tritones. Don't mess with those. But fifth, 2, 3. We can do sharp 5, or we can do flat 5. The 9th, we can do sharp 9. We can do flat 9. So when we're on a dominant chord, it's like all bets are off. Because that chord is meant to be tension driven. It's the tension, and then when it resolves, it's going to be satisfying. So I'll just give you some to start you off with on triads over a dominant chord. Let's start with a major triad on 2. Just like we did in major chords. That gives us a major 7, 9, sharp 11th, and the 13th. Now I'm on C7. C7 wants to resolve to F. See how satisfying that is? Let's do that again. Now, if you get tired of all the sharp 11s and 13ths and all that kind of stuff, just think 2 over 1. Little triad, big sound. So I can just go, let's do a 2-5-1. When I got to the 5 chord, I just played a little shell there. See, in my left hand, I just played a shell. I probably should have thrown in that chord. That note. But sometimes I just imply that, and I just play the shell in my left hand and play the triad in my right hand. So the first one is a 2 major over 1 7. Nice little sound. Okay, here's another one. How about a minor triad on the flat 2? That would be 1, 2, flat. We need a D flat minor. How about this? You say, wow, whoa, that's getting out there. Look how satisfying. The more you twist it up, the more satisfying it is. So when you resolve it. So before you screech, it's supposed to be twisted up. Now let's look at that. I got root 3, 5, 7, flat 9, 3 again, and a flat 13th or sharp 5. So it's a sharp 5, flat 9 chord. You say, ugh, I can't remember all that. And how am I supposed to get that to 12 keys? Easy peasy. Just play a shell in your left hand. Go to the 2. There's 1, there's 2. Flat that and play a minor triad. I'm going to say it again. Little triad, big sound. Now I have this triad in root position. I told you I kind of like second inversion. This time, depends on where I'm going to resolve to. A lot of times I'll resolve like that. I'll resolve like that. A lot of times I'll do that. But depends on if I'm resolving here. In other words, here's my F chord. Then I might pick a different inversion of this. I might pick this. See, I'm taking advantage of that chromaticism, there. But what I want you to remember now is you got a minor triad against a flat 2 minor triad in your right hand, and you got some kind of C7 show or the whole chord, and it'll resolve right nicely to some kind of F chord. Little triad, big sound. Okay, so lots of things we can. So we have 2 of them so far. We got that, and we got this. We can actually combine those 2. That's nice. I had never even tried that. So we got. That's the first one we learned. That's the second one we learned, and let's resolve it. Okay, another one is you can do a major triad off the flat 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, flat 3. So now that tells me I need an E flat triad. So I need this. What does that give me? That gives me a C7, sharp 9. I think that's all it's giving me. It's a C7 sharp 9 because these 2 notes I already have in my left hand. And actually I can lose them in my left hand. I can play a nice little triad here. But remember, it's a major triad. Get to know your inversions too. Off the flat 3. Two will resolve. So far we got this one, we got this one. I just did all 3 of them. So let's try a 2-5-1 into F. So let's go here. Let's do all of them. So here's the one we just learned. Flat 3 major triad over C, over C bass, or whatever bass you're playing, whatever key you're playing. The second one we learned is a minor flat 2, and the first one we learned is a major 2. Little triads, big sound. For the purposes of this video, I'm kind of overdoing it. Okay, so how about a minor triad on the flat 3? We just did a major triad on the flat 3. How about a minor triad? Yes, yes, yes. Actually, this is one of my favorite ones. Gives me a C7, sharp 9, sharp 11, or flat 5, flat 5, sharp 9. So write that one down too. Minor 3. So major 3 works, minor 3 works. Got that one? How about a minor triad on the flat 5, which is that. Oh, sorry, it's that. So a minor triad on the flat 5 is, you see we have a lot of choices on these dominant chords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flat 5, play a minor triad here. It's another nice one. It's especially if you're going to resolve on that C. So let's go minor triad off the flat 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flat that, play minor. That's giving you all kind of color. Let's analyze this one. We got a C7, sharp 11, or a flat 5, 13, and a flat 9. And that'll resolve. Okay, the one I slipped up and gave you is a major triad on the flat 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 6, that'll be A flat, major triad. And that too will resolve. Now these last two I just gave you, that flat 6 major to flat 5 minor, I for some reason have those hooked together. I do. When I do this, I invariably can't talk today, go here. You can actually do something real fancy. You can go right there is a flat 6 in second inversion. Now there it is in first. So okay, watch what I'm doing here, and then I think you got enough to chew on for a while. So there's a triad, flat 6 triad, major. Here's minor. That's a flat 5 minor. There's the flat 6 again. And you can do this as many times as you want. Do that all day until you're ready to resolve it. All of them at random. Little triads, big sound. Now when I get to this one chord, I can play a 5/1, a 3/1, or I can play a okay, hopefully, and I got it. I threw a lot at you on this video, but I mean, you guys liked the last one, so there you go. Some more sophisticated kind of voicings for you. Now, here's my suggestion. Every time you get a voicing, I didn't do it in this video. Every time you find a new voicing, so all I did was show you how to find them. Like this C minor, it's just beautiful. Don't rush through it like I just did. So I got a C minor in my left hand, and I got a D minor triad in my right hand. Well, what would that be in F? What would that be in B flat? What would that be in E flat? You get the idea. So take the practice time to really nail these voicings down in a variety of keys, and then of course take it to a song, take it to songs. Now when you get to these 5 chords, it takes a while. You might have to write those down. I gave you the flat 2 minor. What else I gave you? I forgot. I gave you the 3. I gave you flat 3 major, flat 3 minor. I gave you the flat 6 major, and then the flat 5 minor. These little Triads and produce some pretty rich sound. Drop it in the comments if you have any questions at all. Plus, give me a thumbs up down there if you're enjoying this content. And happy practicing, Mike in Detroit. Peace out.